One quiet afternoon, in a cozy suburban neighborhood, the Thompson family decided to go out for a dinner with friends. Little Tommy, their 7-year-old son, stayed behind, excited to spend the evening playing with his favorite toys and watching cartoons. The house was peaceful, the sound of laughter from the TV filling the air. Tommy was so absorbed in his world that he didn't notice the two strangers lurking outside. They had been scoping the neighborhood for days, looking for an empty house to break into. When they saw the Thompsons' car pull away, they knew it was time to act. The two burglars approached the house, carefully checking around to make sure no one else was nearby. They crept to the back door, slipping in quietly as the house seemed empty. Inside, Tommy was playing in the living room, oblivious to the intruders. Suddenly, he heard a creak from the kitchen. His little heart skipped a beat. Was it just the house settling, or was something wrong? He tiptoed toward the kitchen, curious, but didn't see anyone. The house was still quiet. He shrugged it off and went back to his game. But just as he was about to resume playing, he heard another noise. This time it was closer, footsteps in the hallway. Tommy froze. He looked up from his toys, eyes wide with fear. He had learned from his parents to always be aware of his surroundings, but this was something different. Tommy knew that only bad people made noise like that. He took a deep breath and remembered what his mom had told him. Stay calm and think. With his heart racing, Tommy quietly tiptoed upstairs, hoping to hide. His mind was racing with thoughts, but he knew he couldn't just panic. He had to be brave. He hid behind the door to his bedroom, trying to stay as quiet as possible. As he crouched there, he heard the burglars sneaking around the house, muttering to each other. One of them was in the living room, rifling through drawers, while the other was near the kitchen, looking for valuables. Tommy knew he had to do something. He had seen movies where heroes got creative to stop bad guys, so he thought, what if I could trick them? He quickly grabbed his toy walkie-talkie, which he used to play pretend with his friends. He spoke loudly into it, hoping the burglars would hear him. Help! Help! The cops are coming! Tommy could hear one of the burglars stop in their tracks. They exchanged nervous glances. Did you hear that? One whispered. The other shook his head, unsure. Tommy, now feeling a little braver, shouted again into the walkie-talkie. I've already called 911. They're on their way. The burglars panicked. They hadn't expected anyone to be home, let alone a smart little kid who was playing tricks on them. They decided they couldn't risk sticking around. Tommy, still pretending to speak into the walkie-talkie, tiptoed to his bedroom window. He peeked outside, hoping to see the police, but he knew they wouldn't arrive in time. However, he wasn't about to let the bad guys know that. Meanwhile, the burglars, believing the house was surrounded by police, made a quick decision. They dashed for the back door, sprinting out into the night. Tommy waited a moment, just to be sure they were really gone. His heart was pounding in his chest, but he felt proud of himself. He had outsmarted the bad guys. He immediately ran to the phone and dialed 911, just to make sure the police knew what had happened. When the police arrived, Tommy gave them a detailed description of the burglars. They were impressed with how calm and clever he had been in a dangerous situation. When his parents came home, they were shocked to find out what had happened. Tommy, still a little shaken but feeling like a hero, explained everything. I tricked them with my walkie-talkie, he said proudly. His parents hugged him tightly, relieved that their son was safe. You were so brave, Tommy, his mom said, wiping away a tear. From that night on, the Thompsons kept a closer eye on their home security. They also made sure to teach Tommy how to always stay safe and alert, even when he was alone. And as for the burglars, they never returned to that neighborhood. They realized that sometimes the best thing they could do was to stay far away from clever little kids like Tommy. And so the Thompsons lived happily ever after, their home safe and their son even more courageous than before.